Vince, my friend. I want to talk to you for a moment.
Tito, why do you sound like Robert Rodriguez?
It's just my thing. This is how I sound when the microphones are not on.
What can I do for you, El Matador?
Well, I just wanted to thank you, Vince. This is the first WrestleMania I'm getting a win at in 9 years. So not since the first one have I won at the WrestleMania. So fantastic. It's going to be great for my family to be able to see this momentous occasion for me.
Yeah, about that, Tito.
What seems to be the problem, my friend?
You'll be going over Papa Shango.
Oh, excellent! I'm sure he'll continue to do well in that gimmick, though.
Yeah, he's going to be our next champion, I'm pretty sure. But you're not going to be on TV.
But of course I am. The cameras are all set up. It's WrestleMania.
It's going to be a dark match, pal.
But no, you said.
Listen, Tito. We need time. We had to make some cuts.
Okay, but the thing is, I've looked at the run sheet, and it's actually less than 3 hours long.
No. We need the opening ceremonies. Bobby Heenan has to. Bobby Heenan has to ride backwards on a camel. It's going to be hilarious.
Well, I can see why that has to be put in there for sure. But I mean, really, I could go in. I could be the match before the main event, just to kind of get the crowd calmed down, so they could just ramp right back up.
Oh no, Tito! Before the main event, we have to have Hulk Hogan talk about the WWF Championship. Ha ha!
Why is Hulk Hogan talking about he's in a tag match with Brutus the fucking Barber, Beefcake.
Well, first of all, Tito, you watch your language in my presence. And second of all, don't worry about why he's talking about it. He just is.
But the match is Bret Hart and the Yokozuna.
Yeah, of course. That's not gonna change afterwards.
Fine. Then I've seen how the run sheet is going for Undertaker. Surely I could follow that so as the crowd to get them back up after what is clearly going to be an absolute train wreck of a match.
No, because after that, the Undertaker's gonna come back to the ring and fight Gonzalez again.
Okay. Am I still going to get paid, Vince?
Of course.
Okay, well, let's do it then. WrestleMania 9.
WrestleMania 9.
Oof.
So, this is a pretty great WrestleMania. By the way,
you watched WrestleMania 9, not WrestleMania 19, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm Brendan.
I'm confused, Nathan, because WrestleMania 9 is atrocious.
And you're listening to What Were They Thinking?
Right.
Wrestling month continues as we march to WrestleMania.
I see what you did there. Yeah, that's kind of clever.
Kind of, thanks. So, of course, we're finishing out March with WrestleMania, and then next week we'll be discussing the upcoming WrestleMania this year, and then we'll go back to normal. But for tonight,
as normal as we get. I mean,
yeah, back to our regular non-wrestling movies,
right?
But tonight, this afternoon, whenever you're listening to this, it is time for WrestleMania.
Okay, that they didn't do that until at least another couple WrestleManias after that.
WrestleMania!
Awful, just awful.
We are, so before we get going with this WrestleMania 9, Nathan, if you had to list like 3 I'll give you 3 WrestleManias. They don't even have to be in a specific order.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say are your 3 favorite WrestleManias of all time?
I'd probably say 10.
Okay.
17.
Mm-hmm.
And probably 5.
I want to point something out. Didn't notice WrestleMania 9 in that list.
Because it you said favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where was it?
I mean, we're rolling on to what, WrestleMania 34 this year?
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably down around like the 32, 31, 33, around that area. On my list of, WrestleManias that I would absolutely love to drop everything and watch right now.
So 32 other WrestleManias would have to be unavailable for you to watch WrestleMania 9.
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
So WrestleMania 9, let's set the stage for this WrestleMania.
Oh, you mean so we're going to set it outside?
Yes.
Because that's where it was staged.
Outside.
And not in a good WWE goes to Camping World Stadium kind of way.
I thought the way you set that up, it sounded like an earnest movie. WWE goes to camp. Well, there is a show called Camp WWE, but that's a whole other story.
I would rather watch that than this.
Oh! The whole season?
Mm-hmm. For the episodes that I've seen, as silly as it is, at least they were going for silly. They found it just accidentally with this WrestleMania.
Well, like I said, let's set this up a little bit. So, as we get close to WrestleMania, we have the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. Yokozuna, who's still fairly new to the company, wins the Royal Rumble, last eliminating Macho Man Randy Savage. Mm-hmm. And this is the first year that the Royal Rumble win... last year, the year before, it was for the title. But this is the first year the Royal Rumble really, really has a major impact because it is the winner of the Royal Rumble becomes the number 1 contender for WrestleMania.
Yep.
First time they started it, and it's still going to this day. So Bret Hart, by the way, is the champion at the time. Just won the title from Ric Flair at a non-televised, or later televised, I guess, show in October, I believe.
I think so.
September, October. Brand new main event guy.
Because that's when then they have the loser leaves town match shortly after that.
Oh, between Flair
and Perfect.
Yeah, that was in January. Yeah.
Okay.
So Flair's gone. Bret Hart is a champion. Yokozuna is making his way to the top. He's won the Rumble. Hulk Hogan has also just recently returned to help his pal Brutus Beefcake from Ted DiBiase and IRS Money Incorporated. One of the most underrated tag teams, I think.
Yes, they're an excellent chemistry and kind of a no-brainer too when you think of like a tag team dynamic.
Right. Why not make friends with the Taxman when you're a millionaire?
Or Crooked Taxman at that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the other big thing, I guess, is The Undertaker has been having this major feud with Harvey Whippleman, little diminutive manager Harvey Whippleman, and his kind of gang of motley monsters. Taker has just kind of vanquished Kamala, and Harvey Whippleman's revenge was at the Royal Rumble again. He brings in the giant Gonzalez.
So what you're saying is Harvey Whippleman's gang is like super culturally sensitive and diverse?
Yes.
Okay.
And very, not offensive at all. Kamala is a perfect representation of the Ugandan culture.
Yeah.
So he brings in Giant Gonzalez, who is, I'm going to say 12 feet tall. He is at least 7 foot something.
Yes, he's very, a tall chap. He used to play basketball.
Yeah, there you go. That stereotype sometimes applies to tall people. So he comes into the Royal Rumble, beats the ever-loving crap out of The Undertaker while barely moving because he could barely move. And this sets up the other main event, or not main event, but semi-main event match with The Undertaker battling Giant Gonzalez. So we have set the stage for WrestleMania 9, live from Caesar's Palace, done up like the Roman Coliseum in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yes.
First year, by the way, right off the bat, this is the first year we did not open with the national anthem.
They never opened with the national anthem. They always did America the Beautiful.
Well, you know what I mean.
I get what you're saying, yeah.
With the anthem. A few times they did the Star Spangled Banner, but yeah, this is the first time we didn't open with a celebrity, or in WrestleMania 1's case, Mean Gene Okerlund singing the national anthem. Instead, we open with the opening ceremonies, much like a Roman Colosseum battle, I guess.
Yeah, and you know what? WrestleMania has always been known for the celebrities that they get. They had somebody playing Julius Caesar and Cleopatra.
The real people, right?
Well, that wasn't my note in this situation. My one was Cleopatra's more known for Mark Antony. And secondly, they couldn't get Cleopatra Jones? Wouldn't that have been great?
Or Grace Jones.
No, Cleopatra, because it's supposed to be Cleopatra. Cleopatra Jones. That's
wrestling fans would have gotten that.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Do you think wrestling fans got Cleopatra and Caesar?
They were probably like, yeah, those are the two.
Oh, this is a new wrestler with his valet Cleopatra.
That was strange. So yeah, we do open with actors playing Cleopatra.
Oh, actually no,
Caesar.
They did get one celebrity. They got Stampy the elephant.
I felt so bad for that elephant because
I thought he was going to kill somebody.
Well, yeah, you watch it at the time, and you're like, "Oh, cool! Like a giant, like an elephant. That's awesome! Like what an extravagant way to open WrestleMania." I watch it now, and I'm like, "Where is PETA?" Because you know that elephant was not treated well.
No, well, it was a working elephant.
I do like it was pretty cool when the elephant kind of raises up off the ground. The crowd gives it a good little cheer. I will say this, for a bad WrestleMania, this crowd is into it for the most part.
Yep, it's not a Road Wild situation.
No, they are there to watch wrestling. They are there to have a good time. We'll get into this later. They're often very drunk. Oh, one thing I wanted to note was at the beginning of this show, we opened with a video package of Vince McMahon kind of narrating WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be amazing if he still did that card rundown at the beginning of WrestleManias? It would take an hour these days.
Yeah, just add another hour to WrestleMania.
Versus The Undertaker, and also a mixtape.
It would take 2 days for him just to record the thing so they could run it.
I have no voice left. So there's a real changing of the guard here too, because Gorilla Monsoon, for the first time, I
felt bad for him in this because he was relegated to crowd correspondent.
Yeah, not even an interviewer, not even talking to the crowd, just
Todd Pettengill.
Here's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So Gorilla is a commentator for the first 8 WrestleManias, right? Yeah, I don't think he missed a single one. And here he is basically just introducing the show, introducing the debut of good old Jim Ross.
Old Jim Rossicus.
A toga.
Yep.
Why was the Fink the only one who got a Romanized name?
I don't know, but I gave one to everybody.
Jim Rossicus?
Jim Rossicus.
Okay. Joe Manicus.
What's that? Macho Manicus, yeah.
And Bobby Heenicus?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
No, Bobby the Brainicus.
There we go.
There you go.
So, yes, you heard that, guys. That's your commentary team for the night. We get Jim Ross, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Yeah.
Absolute train wreck. Absolute train wreck. Bobby Heenan comes out backwards on a camel, which is pretty funny.
That apparently was his idea.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
It's great. Savage even gets a couple laughs out of me because he comes out with the girls, feeding him grapes, and then you have Jim Ross saying well, wait a second here. I think Heenan was supposed to come out with the girls. I thought Savage was supposed to be on the camel. So Savage comes to the ring. When Heenan gets there and falls off the camel, Savage does this thing that made me laugh, where he just kind of lifted his robe up, pointed to his underwear, and laughed.
Yes.
This WrestleMania gives you some.
Bobby the Brain calls it camel an attack camel.
Yes. Yes, he does. This WrestleMania starts off with some false hope, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we open with the Intercontinental title on the line, which is I've always liked kind of starting off with a mid-card title match. I think that's an exciting way to get going. And we have Shawn Michaels, still fairly new off his heel turn,
accompanied to the ring with this would have been almost a year after it, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, but it's still fairly early though, a little bit more than a year out.
Okay.
Yeah, the lovely Miss Ontario escorting him to the ring. Luna Vachon. Oh my God.
That's my Luna Vachon impression.
So his opponent, Tatanka.
Yeah.
With Sensational Sherry.
Well, they don't make it super clear that she's with him right away, because she actually comes out separate. There's no real music or anything like that, and it almost seems like she's just there to run interference.
Yeah, to kind of counter Luna.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, I heard that it was supposed to be a spot for Marty Jannetty.
Facing Shawn Michaels?
No, to come out to run interference.
So Sherry replaced Marty Jannetty.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So.
It's quite a difference. So wait, does that mean that after the match, Luna Vachon was going to clothesline Marty Jannetty and beat the shit out of him?
Why not? Because
Yes.
you know what? All the stuff that's going on with this year's WrestleMania and having, Moolah's name yanked off that women's battle royal, to have someone like Luna or Sherry put in that name place would have been perfect, because both of those ladies are absolutely 100 representative of where they want to be with their women's division right now. Sherry and Luna were 3 decades ahead of their time.
Yeah, they had the entertainment aspect down packed.
Yep, and both of them could work like a son of a bitch.
Yep, I don't disagree with you there.
So there you go.
So Shawn Michaels and
Neither one of them are pimps either, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, they didn't make their trainees take drugs.
Yeah.
And take most of their money, and not allow them to have a bank account.
Right.
Shawn Michaels and Tatanka Intercontinental title match. You know what? They had a hell of a match.
They did. There was some unfortunate commentary from Bobby Heenan.
Oh no!
He calls Tatanka Tonto quite a few times. Ooh.
See, the thing with Heenan is, for some reason, some of his more unfortunate commentary, I'm able to take a little bit more than others. Because I feel like there was a tone in his voice where he kind of knew the fact that it was
in poor taste.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's definitely his character and not him.
Well, on the flip side, though, I don't think they'd ever let Corey Graves get away with that today.
No.
Regardless of the tone.
No. Different time, for sure.
Yeah.
He calls him Tano, and then, he says, like, hey, how are you? That whole stuff.
Yeah. And, this is where him and Savage kind of start going back and forth with their jabs at each other, and it does not let up for the entire show.
Some of it is good. Some of it is like, all right, guys.
We also get our very first doing the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you know Tatanka's been winning in non-title matches? He's going to do it again right here for the Intercontinental title. Yeah.
Doing the thing. He says it, I think, in every single match.
Once a match?
I probably. It was one of Randy Savage's go-to lines.
I will say, too, watching this match, the Mania the year before, Shawn Michaels was a very fresh heel.
Yes.
And he looks like, after just 1 year, he has a much better grasp on his character, on being a heel, on psychology. Like, he is the WrestleMania 8 Shawn Michaels and the WrestleMania 9 Shawn Michaels, worlds apart.
Well, if, all the stories are led to be believed, he got a lot of good practice when the cameras weren't running. How to be a fucking dickweed.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. I heard he was a stand-up dude.
Yeah, a real jam-up guy. Just another L dandy.
Don't worry, he'll just find Jesus. Yeah, Shawn Michaels and Tatanka, like I said, they have a hell of a match. There's a few botches here and there, but nothing too crazy. And then we have a really terrible finish. Yeah,
it was weird.
Well, if rumors are to be believed, Chris Chavis, Tatanka, has stated that he is pretty sure that he was supposed to win the Intercontinental title, Shawn Michaels, through one of his Shawn Michaels fits, and the finish was changed.
Yeah.
Because Tatanka gets to remain undefeated, but he wins by countout. It was a really weird countout, too.
Well, I thought it was a DQ at first.
So, yeah. Yeah, it took a second. Like, when I first saw it, I still thought it was a DQ. Yeah. Like, I was like, oh, he got disqualified. But then, looking back, the referee counts to 10. Shawn Michaels pulls the referee out of the ring, gets into the ring. Tatanka hits him with his finish. The referee taps Tatanka's back and rings the bell. It's a count out.
Yeah.
Real strange. Mm-hmm. Real strange ending. And also, do not open your WrestleMania like that.
No.
Let's just piss off the crowd right from the get-go.
Yep. I did they did a couple of that aside, like you said, the match itself was good. I mean, there's some really good B-story type business going on with Luna and Sherry. There's a really sweet, like, twisting arm drag in there that even gets a what a maneuver out of me. Unfortunately, of course, Tatanka does his version of hulking up, which they sadly call going on the warpath. But yeah, it was a really good match, aside from that ending and a terrible sunset flip that was in there as well.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was awkward. But yeah, both guys do. Kudos to both guys. They do a very good job, and the false hope continues.
And it's actually a shame if the rumor of that being true about Shawn Michaels pitching a fit and getting that title supposedly changed, not being able to retain. It's unfortunate because it actually would have been and I think it would have actually done well to really get the crowd on fire for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
If Tatanka had won.
Tatanka winning the title would have been a huge way to start.
Yep.
And does that mean that we would have got Ludwig Borga Intercontinental Champion?
Hopefully not.
I think that's what would have happened.
But then, yeah, we cut from the end of that match over to Mean Genicus.
Oh, but don't forget Luna beating the shit out of Sherry.
Oh, yes. How could I forget woman-on-woman violence?
And then we start this weird trend on this show of talking about stuff that happened backstage without showing it. Because later on, they're like, oh, Luna has just attacked Sherry in the medical center.
And they never follow up on it?
Never show it. Yeah. Never show Sherry. Just talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if they told both ladies to, like, they had to go or something, and they're like, oh, shit, we forgot about the attack. Just say it happened.
We'll do, yeah, and then we'll talk about it, but we're not really going to do anything about it.
So, yeah, the Luna attack. So what were you going to say was coming up here?
After that, we move on to Mean Genicus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And interviewing the awkward interview with the Steiner brothers.
Yes.
Scotty not quite as confident on the microphone as he would be later. Well, even if that confidence was misplaced.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to consider back then they were. He was definitely the greener of the two, and still like kind of fairly fresh, I guess, out of that whole amateur university thing. So he's probably not as used to cutting promos. I mean, they were in the WCW for a little bit before that, weren't they?
I was going to say, yeah, they were in there for a few years.
Yeah.
I think they were teaming together as early as like 88, 89.
No way, really?
I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
I mean,
I remember that Rick was in the varsity club there for quite some time.
Yeah, and then he did his face turn.
Yeah.
And then Scott was there to kind of like guide him along, and then they started teaming together. Let me just look here because I'm pretty sure, 1989.
Wow, you would not know by the interview that was given.
No, yeah, definitely not promo wise. I would argue though that Scott became the better worker of the two.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he evolved his style, but because he also evolved his physique as well. I mean, because if you look at this Scott, right? 100%, yeah. If you look at this Scott Steiner versus the Scott Steiner Big Papa Pump, they're miles apart.
Well, see, and here's the thing, too. In this tag match, everyone had a 25% chance of winning, but you get Scott Steiner in there, your chances go down by half, so you have a 12.5% chance of winning. But then you take your 12.5%, you divide it into 4, because there's 4 times... Yeah.
Good math.
So we get the Steiners taking on the Head Shrinkers. By the way, one of which you guys may know later on became Rikishi.
Yes. And
the other one is Samu.
The Steiners have possibly some of the 90st tights. I think it shows that their love for Sharpies.
I think it's a close tie between them and Crush.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
So the Steiners and the Head Shrinkers, The head shrinkers, again, very sensitive and appropriate gimmicks.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're Samoans, so, they're cannibals. Makes sense.
We do get our very first ever WWF slobber knocker.
So if any of you were wondering how long into Jim Ross's debut that he first used the term slobber knocker, the answer is 34 minutes and 52 seconds.
Yeah.
And then Bobby Heenan has a great line. Jim Ross says, "This is what we call a slobber knocker," and Heenan says, "I thought that's what they called the waitresses at the Tip Top Cafe." Again, camel breath.
And he actually says, he calls the Steiners, Bobby Heenan does, the high school wrestling, and because they were the University of Michigan, and Jim Ross corrects him and says it's university, and Bobby Heenan goes, high school, university, it's 4 years difference, and you still get no money.
Heenan is still on fire.
He is, on point.
So this match, again, this is another match.
He says Oklahoma's a suburb of Kentucky.
Is that not correct? But I would argue this is another good match.
Oh yeah, there's a really nice catch and slam from a Doomsday Maneuver, which was
Oh, that was incredible. Stiff match.
Oh yeah, that spill that Scott takes to the outside.
Yeah, Scott literally flips over the top rope and almost lands on his neck.
Yep, because
he might have actually landed partly on his neck because he was holding his head quite a bit when he landed.
Was it Fatu did the low bridge on him?
I think so.
Yeah.
And then as he's getting up, Alpha sticks him with the kendo stick.
They wail on him with the kendo stick.
Oh yeah, you could hear it through the whole arena.
Yeah.
To the point where if I'm the referee, I'm taking another look at that.
I think my only big letdown is the terrible Frankensteiner for the win.
Yeah, it was not
crisp at all.
No. And I think it has something to do probably with the size of the guy. Just the timing was off.
We do get another doing the thing. I did note that.
I mean, the Frankensteiner does the job. It's over. They do call Alpha. He's not a manager. He's a trainer of viciousness. So there was that. At one point, I wrote down that Samu yells at the crowd, "Ooh!" And I just wanted to be like, "So!"
Oh, I thought they rah, and then he his hands for like he's loading it like a gun, and then tries to do a Superman punch.
Yeah, there you go.
Fucking terrible.
That's what happened. Roman Reigns is actually Samu. What's funny, too, is after they do the Frankensteiner spot and the Steiners win, Heenan says, "I want to see a replay." And they're like, "We're not going to have a replay."
Because it was awful.
Yeah, that was also like, no, we are not doing a replay.
Kevin Owens was like, "I don't think so."
I don't think so, Vance. Although I will say, I don't think there were any replays in this show.
No?
I don't remember there being a single replay.
I'm not going back to find out, so I'll take your word on it.
I will rewatch WrestleMania IX right now. It's turning into a commentary. 1, 2, 3, play. Okay, so we're past that. We go back to Mean Genicus.
Oh, just a minute. I know because we're moving now into Doink versus Crush, so if you'll excuse me, I need something that's going to help me cope with the rest of this freaking pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, she's all downhill from here, folks.
Cheers. There we go. And I'm drinking.
And what are you drinking, sir?
I've actually got a nice little local brew here. Born and raised in my fantastic city of birth, an Alpine. It's left over from my St. Patrick's Day celebrations.
There you have it.
There you go.
So,
Stephen Izzy, you can, if you've ever had an Alpine, I don't know if you've had, but it's since 1937 this stuff's been brewed.
They are not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
Tastes like lowered expectations, which really, that's what St. John's all about.
And WrestleMania 9.
There you go.
So, before we start talking about this Doink match, I will say this right now. This Doink the Clown gimmick as a heel, love it.
Oh, it's perfect.
Love the character.
It really is, and the thing is, they played him so vicious that the lead up for this match apparently got them in some hot water with the sponsors, because there was a review in some local New York rag where they were talking about how the weeks leading up to this event, Doink beat Crush with a prosthetic arm.
Yes.
So they had to tone down a lot of that stuff. They didn't. They really toned it down in the weeks coming up to it. And I think we got to see the prosthetic arm bit before this, just so they could hype the drama. And of course, it's on pay-per-view at that point, so it's not on, like free TV, so they can't really cry too much about it being, violence that's free and out there and anybody can access.
That was their problem. They thought that was too violent?
Well, there was that. I mean, he does, he beats him with a prosthetic arm, and it was 1993.
I suppose.
I mean, we're not talking about, now where, even just a few years ago, you could watch a show like The Following and people are getting their jugulars cut open.
That still seems like a little... I don't know. That's getting offended by.
Also, don't forget, this was before the Attitude Era, and this product was being put forth as family friendly.
I mean, it's not like he ripped it off and there was blood gushing out of it.
No, but he is. I mean, he's a clown, and despite the fact what everybody else knows about clowns is that they're creepy and untrustworthy bastards, it is supposed to be a representative of a childlike or a child-friendly type character, because you think circus, you think clowns, kids have fun, kids like clowns, kids don't like clowns, but they
okay. I will tell you right now, I do not like clowns.
A lot of people don't like clowns.
I am terrified of two things in this world.
Mascots and clowns.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But only in real life. Not I can watch them in movies, no problem. Mm-hmm. But as a tangent, I was walking in the local mall the other day, and the Toys R Us giraffe was outside the Toys R Us.
And you peed your pants. We know.
No, he waved at me, and I hid my face.
Oh my god, that's better.
Can't do it.
Mariah, protect me.
Pretty much. I was walking with Mariah, and I was like, okay, I'll meet you at the theater. I have to walk fast.
Yeah.
So Crush versus Doink the Clown.
This should have opened the show.
What?
No, this should have opened the show because there was a lead up to it, so you can't take that away from it. But the match itself is so kind of atrocious that if you open the show with it, it gets to be forgettable. So you give it more of a pass because it's lower on the card.
I suppose, but I feel like to open the show, you need something a little stronger, though.
Well, then fine. If you're going to do that, do the Shawn Michaels one as the opener, but put this one on second.
Yeah,
because the lower on the card that this match is, the better.
Even if they wanted to open with the tag match. Steiner.
There you go. I mean, that'd be fine, too.
Yeah.
But I think you're right about opening with the Intercontinental Championship. Opening with that solid mid-card title lets the crowd know that this pay-per-view means business. It's a serious pay-per-view, and you should take it as such.
Exactly. My only problem with that was the finish, opening with that finish.
Yeah.
So this is a match that happens.
We get a ref bump. Surprise!
First of many.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
Mariah had a terrible comment here. Do you want to know what she said?
Oh, please.
So the referee is Joey Morella, who is Gorilla Monsoon's
late son.
Mm-hmm. She said Joey Morella has a thing with sleeping leading to bad things.
Oh, that is terrible. Funny on her part and clever.
I said, "Oh my god," and then I wrote it down.
Yeah.
Joey Morella, rest in peace. Yeah, so we get an illusion here in this match.
The double doink.
It's an illusion. Doink must be David Copperfield.
First in of many other people other than Matt Bourne to play Doink.
I'm not sure who the other one was. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it was Steve Kern.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
AKA Skinner. Look that up, guys. Great gimmick. But yeah.
Hey, everybody had to have a job back then, okay?
An alligator poacher was one. So Doink has another Doink show up because basically, for the most part, Crush beats the shit out of him for the match.
Yeah.
Doink gets some token offense in, but Crush basically gets him down, gets the head squeeze, ref goes down. Another Doink shows up, and it's a shitty finish, not only for the interference and the double Doink thing, but that it's so I don't know the word for it.
Contrived?
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. The timing is really weird because he hits him with the cast. They do this stupid ooh, look, we're doing that mirror thing, where you move your arms at the same time.
Yeah, they're doing the mimicry bit, yeah.
And then he waits a minute before he covers him. The referee slowly recovers and counts to 3.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a long time. If he had done that, the referee was distracted or something and then won, it'd be a little less contrived.
Yeah, and then after that's all said and done, we get Fonzie coming out to stooge on the double Doink.
That's right. You could say that he blew the whistle on that one.
There you go. Excellent little ECW reference phrase there.
Let's just make mention, Crush got pinned by getting hit with a cast in the back. I just think...
and he's supposed to be Samoan, who, if all wrestling is to be believed, have the most notoriously hard heads. And go ahead.
I think you mean Hawaiian.
Okay. So he's a white dude from Hawaii, so he's not Samoan?
Crush is not Samoan. Crush is not supposed to be Samoan.
Isn't Hawaii? See, I think Samoan, I think Hawaii.
But I don't think they ever tried to say he was Samoan, though.
Okay.
But you have a point because of that hair. That business in the front, party in the back hair should have blocked it.
It was all the rage back then. Trust me, I was there when it happened.
Crush's mullet is incredible.
Had one, it was glorious.
I want pictures right now.
I'm looking at one right now.
Throw those pictures up on the Twitter. Then we get to some hilarious Japanese photographers in the crowd.
Oh my god,
Which, if they weren't actual Japanese photographers, I would think this is incredibly racist.
WrestleMania #1!
Yeah, the best is when he says, what do you think of it? 2 doinks? And the other one's just like, ah!
Yeah, he just starts laughing.
Yeah, so Todd Pettengill...
Talk about fucking party in the back, business in the front.
Oh, yeah. Basically, early 90s Michael Cole.
Todd Pettengill is the living embodiment of the mullet.
Yes. Todd Pettengill... pretty low on the spectrum of announcers,
but pretty high on the spectrum of other things.
Not even gonna go there.
We'll just leave that as it is.
I'll tell you this: Todd Pettengill, he's no Sean Mooney.
No, he is not. Sean Moonicus.
So anyway, the next match, I don't really have a whole lot to say about this. This is Razor Ramon's WrestleMania debut.
And it's a weird friggin' thing, man. Razor Ramon and Bob Backlund.
And Razor Ramon is a heel.
And Bob Backlund is super fucking square.
Oh yeah. This is Bob Backlund doing his comeback after 10 years. He's just a white meat babyface. So Razor Ramon is of course getting all the cheers from the crowd.
Yep.
There is even a big Razor chant that starts in the middle of the match.
Well, because that's the thing, he's white meat babyface, but because of his lack of charisma, he gets X-Pac heat.
Yeah.
The crowd just does not give a shit about him.
For those of you not in the know, X-Pac, when he was
awful.
I don't know if he's awful. I thought he was a good worker.
I've never been a fan. It's one of the few things where I go along with the masses because I've never really. Ugh. Yeah.
Well, we will agree to disagree on X-Pac.
No, we won't.
Well, we will.
No, we won't.
He was basically he got booed in a way where it was we don't really care, rather than you're a bad guy and we're booing you.
Yeah.
Or, we don't want you out here kind of thing.
I do like the fact that Bobby Heenan says he looks like the paperboy from Mayberry.
Oh, about Bob Backlund?
Yeah, and which is odd because, Bob Backlund does not deliver. See, we'll call back to that last one. Backyard dogs. Backyard dogs.
I thought we were done with that forever. I was wrong. I was so wrong. But here's my question about this match.
What were they thinking?
Yeah. And goodbye. No. Why, if you're... clearly this is here to make Razor Ramon, put him over more.
He doesn't get a finish move.
Make him a bigger star. Doesn't hit his finish. Doesn't even tease his finish.
Wins with an inside cradle.
Right. What was that?
Terrible, that's what that was.
Is that their attempt? You think the thinking on that was, we want to make him out-wrestle the wrestler? Because Heenan even says that on commentary.
I mean, I get that. If they want to do that, fine. But, I mean, if you want a guy like Razor Ramon, if you want him to be over as a credible heel, you got to at least let him hit some signature.
Yeah, the match is like maybe 4 minutes tops.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate because I feel, given the talent of those two individuals, it could have been longer and it could have been better.
Yeah. And, not even a whole lot longer, maybe 8 or 9 minutes tops, because you're talking about a buffer match, right?
Yeah.
Between a Michael Buffer match between the...
Let's not.
Whoever announces the loudest wins. Ken Kennedy versus Michael Buffer. So
you're not going to let Chris Kloss do anything?
Oh, God. Is that the XPW?
Yeah, it is.
Or how about that guy that interviewed that fucking... Oh, what's his name? Zandig? And he's like, what the fuck is happening?
Jesus!
Guys, look up Zandig Jesus promo, and you will laugh.
I think if anybody who's listening to this for the wrestling probably has already seen Botchamania and knows what we're talking about.
I mean, I hope so, but if you've only heard the sound clip, you got to watch the whole interview.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. So, Razor's beaten Bob Backlund. So now we get to the first half of our double main event. Is this why I said 2 for the price of 1? We'll find out. 2 for the price of 1 was our clue. So this must be what I mean, right?
Yeah,
it is.
It must be.
Wait a second, Nathan! Wait! This just in! Lex Luger attacked Bret Hart during the WrestleMania brunch!
Knocked him out!
Are we going to go to the footage?
No.
Okay.
Just take our word for it.
They said it happened.
There was a kerfuffle, a schmoz.
During the morning. They said it happened during the morning, so how did they not have footage?
At brunch.
Yeah.
Who gets into a fight at brunch?
A charity brunch.
I mean, I guess there wasn't enough mimosas. And cantaloupe.
And mirrors. Because of the narcissist.
Right.
So we come up to like I said, the first of 2 main events. I think so. We get the Hulk Hogan and Brutus the Barber Beefcake challenging for Money Inc.'s tag team titles. Money Inc. being Ted DiBiase and Irwin R. Shyster. Best part about the build-up to this was I watched the Raw. So Brutus Beefcake had a nasty parasailing accident, nearly ended his life.
Yeah.
Came very close to killing him.
Some woman crushed his face.
Yeah.
And not in a fun, sexy way at all.
In a sexy, hospital stay way.
Yeah. Not like if, Nia Jax almost crushed your face. Like, that at least would be, Wow,
we're taking a deep dive into Nathan's subconscious.
I'm just saying, she's fetching in a large and in charge kind of way.
So anyway, makes his return on Raw. And, by the way, I agree with you. She's very attractive. He makes his return on Monday Night Raw, does this big interview. I don't know if you've seen it. The fans shit on it.
Because, to steal a line from another podcast, it's Brutus the fucking Barber Beefcake.
Yeah. He's basically saying, I want to thank God and Hulk Hogan, and everyone's like, fuck this. I'm pretty sure there was some F-bombs, and I don't mean the F-bombs that we drop. I'm pretty sure they said pussy. I'm pretty sure at one point he said, do you know what I saw? And someone yelled out, who cares?
Delightful.
If you want to be entertained, find that Raw where Brutus Beefcake does his big speech, and if they haven't censored it on the network, it's probably grand.
There was a cool Bad Leroy Brown reference from IRS during their interview.
What did he say?
Oh yes, you'll look like a jigsaw puzzle with a couple of pieces gone.
Okay.
Which is a reference from the song Bad Leroy Brown by Jim Croce.
I know the song, I don't remember that line.
I recommend, well, at the song is like, Leroy gets into a fight for messing around with the wife of a jealous man. And there's a line there where it says, when they pulled him from the floor, Leroy looked like a jigsaw puzzle with a couple of pieces gone.
Oh, okay.
If you don't know the song, I recommend looking up Jim Croce and listening to everything he ever recorded, because unfortunately he was taken far, far too soon.
So, tag team title match. Oh, this is another Mariah comment. When Hogan and Beefcake come out together, she says they look like ketchup and mustard.
Well, they look like they've been doused in it, that's for sure.
Something weird about Hulk Hogan, though, Nathan. What is that?
Oh, well, could it be the gigantic shiner he has on his face?
Now, the big rumor...
And from my understanding, it's just a rumor.
Okay. Because based on the commentary, and the way Savage is like... The way the Macho Man talks about it, it's almost like he's bragging.
Yeah. And I think that's what...
We should say what the rumor is.
Okay, well... The long thought about urban legend or rumor is that Randy Savage, first name Macho, last name Man, check the boots, punched out Hulk Hogan in some argument where Savage was under the idea that Hogan had been sleeping with Elizabeth while they were married.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant at the time. I was going to say, weren't they separated by then?
No, even so. I mean, dude, like, bros before hoes.
No, I know. I thought you meant, like, he had done it at the time.
No, it's either that or while him and Elizabeth were married or at the end of their marriage sort of thing.
You think Hogan and Liz ever got down?
Oh, possibly.
Yeah.
I can't, I mean, I wasn't there when it happened, but...
I was there, but I don't remember.
From my understanding, the last time Hulk Hogan did a sex tape, it didn't work well for him anyways, so...
Sexy as fuck.
I guess there was another rumor, which I can't remember, and then there's the story that everyone kind of accepts as the truth, is where he was in a jet skiing accident where he basically conked his face off of a jet ski.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what happened?
I'm gonna lean to saying yes, that is what happened. At the very least, I'm gonna lean to no as to Macho Man punching out Hulk Hogan, because I do know that it's been said that Macho Man was actually in Vegas with a lot of the television people when Hulk Hogan called and said that he was in an accident.
Okay.
So there's been more than a couple of people to corroborate the Hulk Hogan was in an accident, or at the very least, Macho Man was with us when this happened, so he couldn't have punched out Hulk Hogan.
Well, there you go, folks. There's the Hulk Hogan black eye theory.
Yeah.
Black eye. Black eye.
Because the Hulk Hogan black guy theory is totally different. That's Booker T.
It's not a theory, folks. It's there on the internet in full.
Yeah.
Uncensored audio.
Yeah.
May have cost him his livelihood.
Yeah. I did make an interesting note, and I'm guessing he always dressed like this, but IRS was wearing a belt and suspenders.
I think he did always have them on.
How much can you trust a guy who doesn't even trust his own pants?
I feel like I've heard that somewhere.
So, Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Okay.
Fantastic movie. We'll never cover it on our show. Ever, because it is legitimately amazing.
I remember it being fun. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Bronson is fantastic in that movie. And
Once Upon a Time. Wait. Once Upon a Time in
Mexico, sorry. Once Upon a Time in the Old West. That's it.
Okay. I was going to say, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, we could cover.
We could cover that one, yes, because Johnny Depp is a blind guy who can shoot like nobody else.
That movie's great.
Yeah. But absolutely perfect for our show. Once Upon a Time in the Old West, not so much. Legitimately great.
That's a legitimate movie.
Yeah.
So this tag match, if you're wondering, we're not talking about this match very much because it's a boring fucking match.
Yeah, we get the dusty eye poke. Hogan does some really heelish stuff in this match.
They cheat more than Money Inc.
I know.
Like, they're supposed to be the faces. Also, they do one thing in this match that I think is always a fun little spot. Money Inc. tries to take the count out loss so they can keep their titles. And we have the announcer saying, if Money Inc. doesn't return to the ring by the count of 10, not only will they be counted out, but they will lose their tag team championship.
Thanks, Finkus. I will say, I remember watching this pay-per-view as a kid, renting it on VHS because my parents would never put down a dime for a wrestling pay-per-view. But I remember watching it with my brother, and my mom and my dad would just kind of like, they would come in and out of the room while make sure we weren't breaking anything or actually wrestling ourselves. And we were watching this match in particular, and Hulk Hogan is cheating. And my mom goes, he's the good guy, isn't he? We were like, yeah, it's Hulk Hogan, he's the greatest. Why is he cheating? And then my brother and I are trying to figure out ways to explain away why Hulk Hogan is cheating. And he's supposed to be the good guy.
It's true. If you look back at Hulk Hogan matches, he cheated more than his opponent. And this was the time of white meat baby faces. He was supposed to be the all-American good guy, and he's poking people in the eyes. He's threatening referees sometimes.
I think a lot of it is played off, though, as the comeuppance or turnabout is fair play situation.
Sure. But I have seen some matches start out with Hogan just doing that, though.
Yeah. We get another ref bump.
Number 2! Now, this is where the match gets really stupid. So, the referee gets bumped.
Yep.
First of all, they're waiting to get tagged into the match.
The referee gets bumped. IRS gets kicked right in the file folder.
Yes. But why are they waiting for the tag?
I don't know.
That makes no sense at all.
Yep.
So, they wait for the tag. Yeah, they come in. Don't they hit Money Inc. with the briefcase?
Yes.
Yeah, so they hit him with the briefcase. They go for the pin. The referee is out. Jimmy Hart, who, by the way, we didn't even mention Jimmy Hart is the manager of Hulk Hogan, which is super weird to me.
Well, they've been friends for like ever.
Yeah, but he's a babyface. And it's so weird.
That's the weird part, is because it's a babyface. You hardly ever see a babyface with a manager.
Right.
A valet, maybe.
Yeah, like Savage and Liz, that would happen. But yeah, so Jimmy gets in the ring. Turns out his shirt backward, inside out, in
jacket,
the referee shirt.
Yep,
is like a zebra shirt. He counts the pin, hands Hogan and Beefcake the titles, and they act like they've won. Okay, I know wrestling isn't real, but if you're the character Hulk Hogan, you've been in the WWF at the time for at least 10 years. Why would you think that would work?
Because it has worked before.
But a manager coming in and counting?
Well, not in the... I'm not going to make a reference to something in the past. I'm actually going to make a reference to something that happened in the fairly recent past, I guess. For us, it would have been way future for this. But at an independent show that you and I were involved with, one of the general managers, who wasn't Jeff Graves, took the referee shirt off of a referee and counted a victory for somebody.
Fair enough, but did that happen at this time? Never.
I suppose.
But I don't think it ever happened before this in the WWF. And like I said, if you're the wrestler, if you're this character...
But, Brendan, if there's one thing that we need to remember is that anything can happen in the WWF.
Fuck all that. Why would you think this would work? Hulk Hogan, if anything, if he pushed for that spot...
Because he's the Hulkster, brother.
Match, but if that was his idea for the finish, he is a dumb man. Because that made him look like a complete moron. Because what happens? Another referee comes down.
Danny Davis.
Yeah, and they get disqualified.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, because they hit them in the face with a goddamn briefcase.
Yep.
So, by the way, let's go over the finishes we've had so far. A count out, a clean pin.
Yep. Attack with a prosthetic.
Right, a run in.
From a double doink.
Yeah, a fluke pin, and a DQ.
Yeah.
WrestleMania, Showcase of the Immortals.
And they're acting, the way they, even with the, them, I guess, getting a bit back, even though they got disqualified, they still, Jimmy Hart tosses Danny Davis out of the ring, and everybody's celebrating like this is the end of the show.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? I'll get to that later, but I have a theory/idea.
Okay.
But yeah, they celebrate for a long friggin' time.
Because Macho Man again says, "Oh, they're doing the thing."
They do open IRS's briefcase, to which Bobby Heenan says, "You never know when you're going to need a brick." That was one of my favorite lines.
You think he was talking about a legitimate brick?
I don't know what you could be talking about. Oh, like cold medicine?
Maybe.
So yeah, I just think, this it's such a stupid fucking finish. It's so Hogan and Beefcake don't win the titles, but Hogan and Beefcake don't have to lose.
Yeah.
Don't have to get pinned.
And Hogan must pose.
Yep. So that's it for Hogan. So that's it for the night. See you later, Hogan. Have a good night. All right, back to WrestleMania.
We had an interview with Mr. Perfect.
That he fucks up.
That does not go perfect at all.
Was there no second takes for any of these interviews?
He calls him the Lexorcist.
Lark Luger. But did you notice, though, there were fuck-ups in almost every interview?
Yeah, because, we're live, pal.
I do not think they were live.
That's the thing. With the promos that they were doing here, I actually almost want to say that they might have legitimately done them live. Because you think that they're going to be like... You think they're going to say, oh yeah, no, he said Larcissist next Luger. So yeah, that's fine. That's good. No, we'll air that.
So do you think...
It's our biggest pay-per-view of the year. Go ahead, run that.
Well, Nathan, considering the rest of this pay-per-view, it would not surprise me.
I have to say, and we will cover this in just a few bits, and it's an argument that goes in my favor that this is live. So let's continue.
Oh boy. So you're saying they just turned off the crowd mics during these interviews?
Well, why wouldn't you?
These might not have even been shown to the people in the crowd.
Possible, yeah.
So this is another weird babyface, Mr. Perfect. I find that weird. He's good. I'm not saying he's a bad face, but it's odd.
He definitely played better as a heel. Although again, everything you're led to believe about him is that he was a pretty swell guy. Even though he'd feed you, somas when you weren't looking.
I was gonna say, you're being facetious because I was waiting for that.
Yeah. It was a fun joke for him.
Yeah, he's just a harmless prankster.
Who would drug you?
Exactly. The fabulous Mr. Perfect.
He wasn't that bad.
No, he didn't pimp anyone out, as far as we know.
Oh, his estate is calling us now to tell us to stop talking about him.
Shit.
No. Don't look. We're doing it out of respect.
Exactly.
Look, it's just a joke. No, I don't feel that any sort of litigation is a thing that needs to be. Well, no, fine. You will see my lawyer in court. Thank you very much. Good day, sir.
Shit. So that was his lawyer, eh?
Well,
Was it that baseball player he used to pal around with all the time? I forget his name.
Knuckleball Schwartz?
No. It was a legit baseball player.
Wade Boggs.
Best friends. There we go.
Yeah.
Is that who it was?
I knew who you were going. Yeah, Wade Boggs. He was in one of the vignettes they did back when he was, showing the Mr. Perfect stuff.
And that was him on the phone, right?
Wade Boggs isn't an attorney.
Oh. A baseball player, attorney, same thing.
Although that absolutely would have been a sitcom premise in the 90s, so.
Wade Boggs, attorney, baseball player. Guy, if we ever do a TV show on this show, we need to do Learning the Ropes, by the way.
Oh my god, yes. I watched that live, when it was on TV originally.
We're live, pal.
Yeah. Do you know that the kid, the son in that show, is the dude who plays Murdoch on Murdoch Mysteries.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Learning the Ropes in full. I just saw Learning the Ropes.
Yeah, no, I did. When I was a kid, I actually watched that. The CTV used to show it.
Yeah, starring the Legion of Doom.
Yep. And again, why we're talking about Learning the Ropes right here is because this match also just...
boring.
Which is unfortunate because it starts off with some fantastic 90s chicks.
Oh my god, yes.
Those early 90s, big hair, high thumb, my goodness.
So let's talk about this. So Mr. Perfect is facing the narcissist Lex Luger.
The Larcissist, yep.
The Larcissist Nex Luger. And Luger comes out with all these girls, very attractive ladies.
Who can't hold a mirror up.
Can't hold him here because he has to adjust himself so he can be reflected in it.
Yeah.
And sparks go off from the mirror. I think Luger has a pretty cool entrance.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. The only thing about Luger is, first of all, well, I mean, we can kick a dead horse. He's not a great worker. Everyone knows that. Everyone's talked at length about how Luger's not a great worker.
Right.
But the thing is also, he can't emote. I never
Yes.
get the sense that he's being arrogant. I get the sense that he's being told to stand there.
And when you get right down to it, this gimmick would have been the one that would have played to his strengths the most.
Right.
Because as a narcissist, he doesn't have to do a whole lot of emoting. He just has to think of how great he is.
I just think he even has a hard time just pulling off like an
Conceit?
arrogant facial expression.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get some great line from Heenan here because Jim Savage says, "You want to take a polygraph?" And he's like, "No, I don't have false teeth."
Yes, I have that note as well.
Also, Savage has a bizarre line here. He says, "Mr. Perfect," he says, he's not just perfect, he's perfect." I'm like, what?
There's also another line in there somewhere. Someone says it's not the biggest bat that you swing.
That's right.
Which that's great. That's a pretty good penis joke.
I mean, I don't have a lot to say about the match itself. It just, it's a match. It's not a good match, and it has another weak ass finish.
Yeah, and we get the funny thing about it is that because the match is kind of bleh, you did get some. I did pay attention more to the commentary, and they do a lot more bickering in this. There's a really good bit where Bobby Heenan's going on about Oklahoma to Jim Ross, and he says they're getting indoor plumbing next year.
Yeah, I mean the commentary is the best part.
The slingshot comes into play, which again we've discussed that before. How that is
stupidest move in wrestling.
Dumbest fucking move, yeah.
As hard as it is to accept that someone would be whipped off the ropes, the slingshot is the stupidest move in wrestling.
Yeah. But we finished with, what was it, feet on the rope for a backslide?
Yeah, perfect. So he backslides Perfect. Perfect puts his feet on the ropes, but he just kind of leans into it, so it's like the front of his feet.
Mm.
Why not just kick out? That finish makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
The referee somehow doesn't see this, even though they're right up against the ropes. And that's the fucking finish.
Yep.
So I guess it's to protect Perfect in a way, to show that he actually did get his feet on the ropes. Another like fucked finish though, because it's another one that's not clean, and it's WrestleMania. Like this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Perfect is very upset. Goes to the back. We finally go backstage, which apparently we couldn't do any other time. Like, what the fuck was that? Perfect finds Luger outside. This is actually a really cool visual, is that Perfect goes right outside the arena. We get to see, like, the corridor they have set up. He finds Luger, but there's Shawn Michaels.
Who attacks him.
That means Lex Luger went to the back and immediately was like, "Hey, Shawn Michaels, let's go hang out."
I don't think that ever happened.
No. They just don't strike me as people that would be buddies.
Yeah.
Shawn beats the fuck out of Mr. Perfect with a garbage can. EC dub! EC dub!
Yeah.
And, of course, that eventually led to their match at SummerSlam, which ended up being a huge disappointment.
Well, what are you going to do, right?
So, I mean, WrestleMania, where there was not a clean finish, and we set up a match for later. At another show.
Moving on, we get some Gorilla Monsoon and Toga again.
As one would.
Yep. Because what we got coming up next is watching in retrospect, gosh, I wonder who's going to win match.
Oh.
Even if this was not in retrospect, I would still be like, yeah, no, Taker is not jobbing out to this guy.
Well, Undertaker, as we said earlier, was feuding with Harvey Whippleman's Monster Wrestlers.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Super Inclusive Diversity Club.
Well, yes, that's what they were called. That was their gimmick name.
Yeah.
So here he's got the Giant Gonzalez, who comes out in very interesting wrestling attire.
Oh my God. Spray painted to look like he's nude.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that he didn't have a penis spray painted on him.
They drew in the butt crack, though.
They sure did. They just gave him a lot of bush in the front.
Ugh, gross. I don't even want to think about it.
It was buried in the forest of the Giant Gonzalez.
Okay.
Buried deep in the
Oh my God, Brendan.
Gonzalez lays his micro penis.
Not from everything I've heard.
Oh dear. So he's Virgil in it down
like
there?
a baloney, that you need to get...
Like a baloney. So wait, do you think him and Virgil ever met up and they had like a dick off?
Maybe a sword fight? Pat Patterson was the judge to see who was going to win.
I take winner, eh?
We get the Taker coming out with a vulture. Did not care for that camera at all.
Oh, that poor vulture.
Said nobody ever.
I felt bad for it. There's so much animal cruelty all over this fucking show. But the vulture, it doesn't care for being on that little platform. And then when they try to take it off the platform,
it attacks the camera.
Yeah. It would have flown away. Like, it almost did.
Yeah.
It's not happy. I'm sure Undertaker was thrilled to be right next to it, too.
We do get an interesting visual, though, where Taker has to actually look up to Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah, that was the best part of the match, and then the match began.
Yeah. Well, there is another match that happens within this match.
Oh, yeah?
If because I became so bored while watching this match because I'd seen it before and I knew it was terrible. I happened to notice in behind the action that's going on in the ring, there's actually a crowd argument that looks like it's about to turn into a fight happening right behind the ring on the hard camera side.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, there's like this old guy and a dude who's sitting in a row behind him, and they're like security is like keeping them from coming to blows.
Wow.
Yep.
I kind of want to go back and just to see that fight. Did we skip over the drunk people in the crowd?
Well, I think this was some of them.
Well, no, the guys that Todd Pettengill...
Oh, the dude bros? No, that comes up. That comes up after this.
Okay, good. I didn't want to miss that.
Yeah.
So this match fucking sucks.
Yes.
This is the worst match on the card.
The 6,000-pound solid steel steps, which are clearly hollow and easy to lift.
You know what I do? I do enjoy that every time John Cena picks them up, though, he actually makes it look like a struggle.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I do like that.
Okay.
I think he sells the weight of the steps well.
Yeah.
This, arguably, I would also say this is one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time.
Even worse than that Nathan Jones one that Taker was involved with years later?
Yeah, easily, because Nathan Jones only came out for the last 30 seconds.
Well, I suppose it's a fair point.
Yeah, I didn't say the worst.
Just one of the worst.
One of the worst. The blindfold match is up there, too.
Oh.
So, it's terrible. So, Giant Gonzalez, of course the finish is a DQ.
Mm-hmm.
Because, why not? He smothers The Undertaker with a chloroform rag. And we get ref bump number 3 from old Bill Alfonso.
Yep.
Taking the best bump of the night, by the way.
Well, I mean, he's Fonzie, right?
Yeah.
I did like
the slam from Gonzalez goes like 35 feet in the air.
There was a couple in the crowd that had a "Rot in Peace" sign with them.
Okay. Not Undertaker fans?
I think they were because they look like goths.
They just decided to change his catchphrase.
To make it a little more metal, yeah.
Rot in peace.
There you go.
Maybe that was their metal band.
Or at least their hit single.
Rot in peace.
Yeah.
Undertaker, John Gonzalez, Undertaker.
This song that Brendan is writing is more entertaining than the match itself.
Oh, thanks, man.
No problem.
Wait, that's a pretty low bar.
It's a low bar, yeah.
Shit. So this match, yeah, so it's DQ because Undertaker gets smothered by a chloroform rag. Giant Gonzalez poses. Taker gets taken to the back. Oh, what's that? The bell tolls. Taker comes back. Clears Giant Gonzalez out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing we had this WrestleMania match to set up a future match.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
Mm-hmm.
The rematch, also the rematch they ended up having, almost as bad as this. But yeah, this, I don't know what else to say about that match. It sucks. They do chant for Hogan.
Yes, because the match was so damn boring.
No, I mean, they chanted for him.
To come out for the save?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? I would have been fine with. If that's how they would have used him later.
But it isn't.
It isn't. No, he's done. He's not coming back.
No, because he gets a promo next.
Oh, boy. Here comes the Hogan promo.
Which, this is where it goes to my argument that these were legitimately live, because I don't see Vince McMahon going, yeah, it's perfectly fine if Hulk Hogan says Jap.
He sure does.
Yes.
And funny enough, he refers to a man that is Samoan as a
Kayfabe, Brendan, kayfabe.
I know. It just makes me laugh.
Yeah.
So,
but,
yeah, he calls in that word.
Yeah, after that, a bit of unsettling business.
Well, actually, hold on. We should say Hulk Hogan refers to Yokozuna as that and says he makes no bones about it, he wants to challenge the winner of the main event for the title in the future, at some point.
Yeah.
Some point in the future. Don't worry about it.
And it doesn't matter if it's you, Bret Hart, or the Jap. Awful. Just awful.
Now we get the drunk people.
Yes, the dude bros. The 90s dude bros at that. Like original dude bros.
But not before Todd Pettengill bullies some child in the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
He says, hey, you got Prince Charles' ears. You want to say anything? That's what I thought. What? Todd, you son of a bitch.
Well, he was man cow in the morning. He was a big radio guy. Always saying stuff like that.
That kid is, stricken with fear, too.
I think he was more in awe of Todd Pettengill's mullet.
That's true. Todd Pettengill is a talent we all deserve. So it's time for the main event, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Bret the Hitman Hart defending his WWF Championship against Yokozuna, accompanied to the ring by the legendary Mr. Fuji.
In the crowd, there's somebody that has spelled out R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Was Aretha Franklin in a dark match?
Yes.
Okay.
She played Papa Shango.
Oh, ooh.
You know that if Aretha Franklin was a wrestler, they would have given her a really racially sensitive gimmick like that.
Of course, because that's what they did back then.
Thankfully, that has mostly changed.
Mostly.
Well, the WWE, for the most part, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Vince McMahon still does like to do the whole, well, they're both of the same race, right? I guess they should make a tag team. The people of the same race just get along, right? Except for white folks.
Moving on. We get a USA chant, and Bobby Heenan points out that one guy's from Canada and the other guy's from Japan.
Yeah, I like that. But I'm just going to say, that ain't me, that's Vince.
Okay.
Just want to throw that out there.
Just trying to move on.
I just don't want the blame.
Oh, because of your noted hated for Naomi?
Yeah, because she's terrible.
I'll say this, I'd rather watch her wrestle than Kelly Kelly.
No, I'd rather watch Kelly Kelly.
Nope.
No, I don't care about her wrestling.
Now you're being a dude, bro. So knock it off, dude.
Perving it up. Perving it up on the Perv.
Yeah.
On the Perv network. With Perv and Wall. At one point in this match, well, you want to talk about racism. At one point in this match, Jim Ross calls something Yokozuna is doing an Oriental nerve hold.
Yep.
I will say this. The Bret Hart Yokozuna match, it's not too bad.
No, but apparently the flourish got cut off.
What do you mean?
Well, I guess Bret and Yoko had gone through the match to make it look as good as it could, because they knew what fucking garbage was coming at the end. And so they made this intricate sequence for the finish of the match, but I guess Yokozuna got kind of blown up during the match and cut it off early, so none of the good stuff that they had planned out actually got put into the match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was short. It's a little bit under 10 minutes. What I do like though is how the match how the match goes up to that point, because you have Bret Hart charging in immediately, being quick, taking Yokozuna down by hooking his leg in the ropes, tripping him, using top rope moves. Like it's a very smartly wrestled match.
Yes, he's using his quickness to the advantage of himself versus a guy who is kind of lumbering. David
versus Goliath, very easy to work that formula.
Yeah.
So, of course, the finish is Bret Hart has the sharpshooter. Fuji throws salt in Bret Hart's eyes, unbeknownst to the referee, despite a big puff of salt cloud.
So, if we have one clean finish in this entire show.
Well, yeah, 2 if you want to.
No, I don't count that.
Okay. So one clean finish in this whole show, 2 DQs and 1 countout.
Yeah.
Seriously, guys.
WrestleMania. Showcase of the Immortals. The granddaddy of them all.
2 DQs, 1 countout.
Yeah.
So he throws salt in Bret Hart's eyes. Yokozuna covers him. Doesn't even hit a move or anything. Just covers him. 1, 2, 3. New champion. When I watched this as a youngster, I was shocked. Like, I was like, what?
Yeah.
The good guy lost? Like, I was like, I couldn't believe they ended WrestleMania like that. Well, that was the end, everyone. Just like that, Yokozuna's won the title, downer inning, WrestleMania is over, all rights reserved. So, Nathan, what did the reviewers think of this?
Salty garbage.
Wait, that's the end, right?
Yeah. No.
Wait, all rights reserved.
The fucking hot garbage. Hulkster comes out.
Oh, just there to congratulate him, right?
To help Bret Hart.
Yeah, to help Bret Hart. Okay.
And then, for no reason at all, the smartest manager in the world, Mr. Fuji, gets on the mic and says, "Hey, Hulk Hogan, big tough guy, we'll challenge you right here, right now."
And then Hogan says, we'll do it at another event, right? And then the show ends?
You got it, brother. And he climbs in the ring.
Wait, what?
Wins in 3 minutes.
What, 3 minutes?
It's a 3-minute championship reign for Yokozuna.
Oh, wait, what?
Yep. And that's how we go to all rights reserved. Hulk Hogan is your new WWF champion.
But Mr. Fuji can't make matches.
Fucking garbage. President Jack Tunney would go on the record later to say that there was a verbal contract in place.
President Jack Tunney.
Whatever.
Immediately became the biggest heel in the world in my book for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, folks. Fucking Hulk fucking Hogan comes out, takes the spotlight, beats Yokozuna. 1, 2, 3 is the champion.
Yep.
After all that. So here's what I was going to say earlier about the tag match. I think one of the issues with 2 here was they probably didn't want to end the show with a heel as the WWF champion at the time.
It would be the first WrestleMania that it happened at.
I would argue there was some back and forth there where they were like, do we really want to do this? Do we really want to send the fans home like this?
Yeah. My
thing is, as much as that it was the WWF title match and, it probably should have been the main event, stick it in the middle of the show, okay? Have Yokozuna win the title. That way you still got some show to go. Put the tag title match at the end. You know what? Fuck it. Have Hogan and Beefcake win the titles.
Yeah.
Just end the show like that.
Why not?
That's all they had to do.
Exactly.
And it's not like Ted DiBiase didn't deserve, a main event spot.
Well, I mean, he had one at WrestleMania 4, but...
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like people would have been like, oh, how dare they put DiBiase in the main event.
True.
That's WrestleMania, guys.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan is the WWF champion. 2 title changes, both of which were the same title.
Yeah. What were they thinking? What Were They Thinking is brought to you by HostGator. HostGator is a leading provider of shared, reseller, VPS, and dedicated hosting solutions. Award-winning support is available 24/7, 365 days a year via phone, email, and live chat. Discover why over 9 million websites trust HostGator. Use the coupon code SCHLUCK
for 25% off your first purchase. That's Schlock, SCHLOCK, for 25% off your first purchase.
What Were They Thinking is brought to you today by GameItAll.com. Whether it's video game news, the latest in music, or movie reviews, GameItAll.com is your one-stop shop for all nerdy talk. I have a question.
What's that, little Hulkster?
Hulk Hogan?
That's right, brother.
I mean, someone who sounds like Hulk Hogan, but copyright-wise is not technically Hulk Hogan.
That's right. Sure. Why not? Don't internet search me.
Okay, my mom doesn't let me use Google anymore anyway.
That's probably for the best, little Hulkster.
Wait a second. Maybe you can help me.
I'll do what I can.
I'm looking for all the wrestling news, rumors, and all the results, and I can't find them anywhere.
Well, let me tell you something, little Hulkster. If you need your fix for internet wrestling rumors and results and all the inside information, you're going to need to go to WrestlingNewsWorld.com. If you're not there, you're not anywhere, brother.
Wow, thanks, kind of Hulk Hogan.
Sure thing, little Hulkster. Remember, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and go to school and all that other stuff, because I'm not really Hulk Hogan, so I don't know what he'd want to say.
WrestlingNewsWorld.com.
What were they thinking?
This was a pretty good one.
Fucking hot garbage.
I will say, okay, I did say this earlier in the week to you that I thought 11 was worse because it was duller.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go on record and say 9 is worse.
Yeah.
Because at least 11, the booking didn't make me want to punch a toddler.
That is some imagery.
Yeah, I mean, I got pretty mad.
Yeah.
My question to you is, where does this stand for you on worst of all time?
Man. No, I'm going to say this one is definitely, at the very least, worse than WrestleMania 11.
Okay, so it might be the worst of all time.
Yes.
So at this point, we usually say, before we do that,
Nathan?
Yes?
I jumped the gun a little bit, but I believe it's time for a low haiku.
Yes? Okay. Well, there we go.
17 syllables to explain our feelings on this WrestleMania 9.
Mm-hmm. Bullshit. Ending. Hulk. Bret Hart should still be the champ. Brutus fucking cake. Beefcake wouldn't fit in with the syllable breakdown, sorry.
I enjoy Brutus cake.
You're the only one.
No, just the name.
Okay.
Not the man.
Alright.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania. Showcase of the Immortals. Just kidding, 2 doinks.
Delightful.
So now, at this point, we usually say, don't take our word for it, hit the theme!
Don't take a word for it.
However, this is going to be a little different, because this is not a movie on Rotten Tomatoes.
Nope.
As far as I can see, it does not have Rotten Tomatoes entry for WrestleMania 9. It should, though.
Yeah.
I would love to see Roger Ebert's opinion.
Or even
All right.
at least Gene Siskel's.
Oh. Yeah. It would be great if they saw it and they were like 4 stars.
Showing that as wrestling fans, they're movie reviewers.
There you go. But what I will bring up here is Dave Meltzer's star ratings for these matches. So Dave Meltzer, for those of you guys not in the know, I'm sure most of you should know who he is. Basically, the wrestling journalist, works for the Wrestling Observer. He's basically one of the first dirt sheet guys, dirt sheets and rumors guys. And he basically started using the 5-star rating system for matches. No one knows what his criteria really is, but he sure likes Japan.
He does.
So I'm sure the Yokozuna match... Oh, wait, no, he's not actually Japanese. Never mind. So I'll tell you what we missed. We missed Tito Santana and Papa Shango. That was a dark before the camera started rolling.
But we did allude to that in the opening.
Correct. He gave that match a dud, a 0. So I guess he saw it somehow. So the Intercontinental title, Tatanka and Shawn Michaels, he said that was a 3.5. The Steiners and the Head Shrinkers, he said, is a 2.5, which I feel is lowballing a little bit.
Yeah, because he goes up to like quarters and stuff too, so...
He does, and he goes into the negatives too, of which that may come up here.
Okay.
Crush and Doink the Clown, he gave a 1.5 stars. Razor Ramon and Bob Backlund, he said, is the worst match on the show.
I'm guessing he's excluding the 3-minute match between Hogan and Yokozuna.
Nope.
Really? Okay.
Gave this one a -1 star. Razor Ramon and Bob Backlund. I don't think it was that bad.
No, I mean, they didn't throw in there wasn't a bunch of stupid botches, and it was kind of it really was kind of a one-off match.
Right.
So
the tag team titles between Money Inc. and, we should note, Beefcake and Hogan were the Mega Maniacs.
yes.
That match he gave 2 stars, which is really high.
Mm-hmm.
Lex Luger and Mr. Perfect gets a 1.25. What the fuck does a quarter even mean? Like, what the fuck that shit?
It's 25%.
I know, but in terms of ratings, what's the difference between a fucking quarter star and a half star? Like,
I don't know. It's Dave Meltzer, man.
Okay, here's where we will get some protests here. The Undertaker and Giant Gonzalez gets a 1.25.
He rated this higher than the Razor and Backlund one. I take umbrage with that.
He also said it's as good as Luger and Perfect.
Oh my god.
This is like a -5 for me. Maybe -4, because Undertaker can wrestle.
Yeah, there you go.
Not Undertaker's finest streak moment, guys.
No.
Yokozuna and Bret Hart, he gave 3 stars.
It was solid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with that. 3 stars, 2.5 stars, something like that. But he also somehow decided to rate a 20-second match, which I don't really think you can do, but whatever. He gave Hulk Hogan and Yokozuna a dud.
Which it deserves, yeah.
It deserves an NA. That wasn't even a fucking match.
But I don't feel that Razor and Bob Backlund deserve to be lower on the rating scale than this match, because at least they put in a match.
Yeah. So that's the only real don't take our word for it thing I can really give you here, folks. Well, next week we will...
Well, no, I can give you a don't take our word for it here, actually.
Oh, okay.
Before we go, Slam Wrestling John Powell stated that aside from the Intercontinental and Tag Team Championship, I think he just means just the Tag Team match, and the scantily clad women that accompanied Lex Luger to the ring, the rest of the broadcast was poor. He's also critical of some of the outfits worn in the event, notably Jim Ross's toga and Giant Gonzalez's spray paint suit.
So next week, we will be doing predictions for this year's WrestleMania, 2018, WrestleMania 34. But then the next week after that, we will be going back to regular movies, not wrestling stuff anymore. As we go,
We're going back to movies.
Movies, not regular. Movies.
Regular is yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah. By the way, should note right now, listeners' choice ballots are still being accepted. In the month of May, for all 5 Thursdays, we will be doing a movie picked by you fine folks. Everybody gets up to 5 picks. You can send it to us on Twitter. You can DM us. You can slide into our dirty mouths. Slide into our dirty mouths.
DMs, yeah. That's what it stands for.
And, or you can, you can send us a message you can post on our Facebook group, whatever you want to do. You can email us, wwttpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll be doing live draws, well, not live, but we'll be doing draws throughout the month of April, and to reveal what movies we'll be doing. And, we're going to do it so you get 5 picks each. And if we pick like Joe Johnson's, pick, that means the rest of Joe Johnson's movies are no longer eligible. So if you do win, you're only going to get 1 movie in. So make sure all your picks are good.
Yep.
Well, bad, but good.
Yep.
So, Nathan, give us a little clue, Scaroony, what we're doing next episode.
My clue is Jean-Claude Van Comrade.
There you go. What could that be? Sophie's Choice?
Of course, yes.
What were they thinking? There we go. That's your clue. Our good friend Montrose, is he by, or do you have to promote for him? Or
I will just say, so as we don't get him in here and him hurling abuse and, fecal matter at us,
thank goodness.
You can check out Montrose Monkington III Esquire and Friends on Facebook, Montrose Monkington TV on YouTube, and you can also follow him on Twitter at Montrose III, number 3, RD, and just see what the chimp's up to. Watching some wrestling. He'll be watching this year's WrestleMania. And once we get some clearer weather here in the Great White North, we'll be exploring some of the wilds of Canada.
Guys, we're in the country there where it's basically winter for most of the year.
It's not that bad.
Our winter is definitely longer than it's supposed to be.
Well, it's not as long as it used to be, that's for sure.
That's true. But you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at WWTT Podcast. We're on Facebook. We also have a Facebook group at What Were They Thinking Interactive, which you can join and interact with us, as it were. You can also find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher,
Podcast
YouTube, Podcast Addict, Teddy Ruxpin Appreciation Network, Al Jazeera Network,
Human Sentai Pod Kit
ABC
Knife,
Spark,
but not Disney.
Not Disney, Spark, guys.
Yep.
And if you go to one of those, like if you have bunny ears on your TV,
and
if you go to one of those, antennae, and you go to one of those old pay-per-view channels, like how we used to watch, like the people used to watch like the fuzzy pay-per-view,
the
channels.
fuzzy boob,
if you go to that at about 3:46 in the morning on Tuesdays, we're on there too. You just gotta look real hard.
Yep, squint. I actually have watched or listened to pay-per-views that way.
I watched an entire WCW one.
Yeah.
I watched Hulk Hogan beat Kevin Nash at a WCW pay-per-view that way, and I was like, I think he hit the leg drop?
I always just listened to the commentary and did other stuff.
So there you have it. But Nathan.
Yeah?
Do you,
have any questions?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about the granddaddy of them all.
Yes.
The biggest stage, the showcase of the immortals, to have every fucking match except for one end without controversy.
Mm-hmm.
What were they thinking?
It's time, let's check our cue, baby. Pair it with a couple brews, baby. We love good movies. We love the bad ones too. So we watch them all and pass their lessons on to you. Oh yeah. Everything I learned from movies helps to make life a little bit groovy. With a one-liner plot, holes, or gratuitous movies. It's time to get busy with your friend Steve and Izzy. At eilfm.podbean.com.
Hey, do you like movies?
Hey, do you like podcasts?
If you do, then come on down and listen to the Home Video Hustle podcast, homie.
Hustle.
Every Friday, we talk about whatever movie PJ picks out the bag. What does that mean? Well, every Wednesday on our YouTube page, I pick a bunch of movies at random. Sometimes there's a theme to it, sometimes not. PJ picks the movie out, and guess what? We watch it on Friday. We talk about it for about maybe an hour and a half, whatever we feel like doing. Might give you something good to watch, baby. Come on down every Friday.
So come get your hustle on with Home Video Hustle.
You can find the show on any podcatcher app, or you can come down to homevideohustle.podbean.com. All of them in one place for you, so you can go ahead and binge it like it's Netflix. We ain't the Defenders, but I like to think we a little bit better than that. Come holler at your boys, man. Come chill with us. Peace.
Hi, guys. We interrupt your favorite podcast to interrupt you with an ad for your new favorite podcast.
Wait, isn't this playing on somebody else's show?
Exactly.
So then how are we... I thought we were their new favorite podcast.
Well, we're going to become their new favorite podcast after they hear this advertisement for our show. What's our show called, Justine?
Superiority Complex.
Yeah? Where can they find us, Patrick?
Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. You can go to @SoupComplex on Twitter, SOUP Complex, and you can go to Facebook.com/SoupComplex. But our main page is on Podbean, and you can find us there at www.superioritycomplex.podbean.com. New episodes are out every Thursday. Justine,
Yes.
what do we talk about on the Superiority Complex?
Nerdy stuff.
Perfect.
Don't get all sensual with your voice.
Yeah, did you hear that?
I heard it. It's a little inappropriate.
If you want to hear a little more of that, tune in to the Superiority Complex. One more time, Justine, what do we talk about?
Nerdy stuff.
Nah, wasn't
No.
the same. You tried.